We make the strings
louder.
What's up, video here by the legend, and we have a guide for you guys here talking about workers and contribution points, since they go hand in hand. And we'll also mention energy here too. Now, what you guys want to know is that when it comes down to workers and what they do, workers allow you to, they gather supplies for you and then store it in your storage manager down here, or your warehouse manager, or your storage keeper, sorry. It goes into your warehouse and all the supplies will be here. As you see here, I have people farming potatoes, corn, cooking honey, timber, etc., etc. Now what they do is when they get these supplies for you, you can use them to cook, craft, alchemy, anything. You guys can craft and do anything with these, and essentially you can make a lot of money. Me personally, I'm not that big of a life skiller at the moment. I'm building myself up, but I make about 40 mil a night just sleeping. I make 40 mil. Wake up in the morning, cash out, and start all over again. So you guys can make that same amount if you follow the steps here, if not more. Now let's get right into it. Now, being able to get your worker force starts with going to your work manager or your worker. Essentially what you do is you click on your NPC and you click on worker. Then when you click on worker, it'll auto path you to your work manager and allows you to contract and get workers to start working on the nodes. Now, nodes. What are nodes? Nodes are pieces of the map that have the ability of giving you resources, and these resources these nodes you can obtain by using your contribution points. So if you click on a node, for example, they have essentially this whole node would be gray like this one is. Then what you do is you purchase the node for how many ever contribution points, and then you go and click on the actual individual resource node that's going to give you individual resource, and you click contribution invest. And what ends up happening is you get the chance of putting a worker to work on it, and it allows you to get that resource from that area. Now, while you're setting up your worker, just a quick thing, what you want to do before you set it to work is change and press F and do 50,000 times, max times. Reason being is that you don't have to get up and come back and set them back to work every time they gather something. It automatically does it. So that's just a little tip. Make sure you guys do that every time you set up your character. Make sure you go to change, set it to max 50,000, and call it a day. But other than that, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about nodes. What you want to do is you want to buy the nodes closest to the city. You don't want to buy random nodes here, random nodes there. Reason being is you can't. Nodes have to be connected. So for me to get this node here, I have to get this node. For me to get this node over here, I have to either start from Velia and connect the nodes down, or start from Heidel and connect the nodes up. So getting nodes, the nodes have to be connected. The farther away a node is, it has to be connected to another node, connected to something else, etc., so on and so forth. Now that you have a small understanding of nodes, that they give you resources, and that's what you set your workers to work on. Specifically, what we're going to go back to is actually getting your workers. Now that we're here at the work manager, like I said before, make sure you click on your NPC, click on worker, and it will take you right to him. What you want to do is you want to click R, interact with them, go to contract workers. Now for my situation, I'm maxed out on workers on this place, but I will explain to you guys what, I don't have any more lodging, so it won't allow me to actually show you guys what's going on when it comes to workers. Specifically, what happens is when you go to contract a worker, you're going to get 4 different types of levels. It's going to be naive workers, it's going to be the gray lettered workers, then it's going to be the green lettered workers, then it's going to be the blue lettered workers, and then the yellow lettered workers, and then the orange lettered workers. What you want to do is you want to focus on getting, and I can show you guys an example of what they look like here. These are the type of workers you want to get, either the blue or higher. I'm going to say you guys focus on getting your skilled workers first, and initially get that first startup, because they're a little bit easier to get than the professional workers that I have down here, and some of the artisan workers that I have there. But you want to start off by only getting the skilled giant workers. I will have a snippet, I will edit it out in this video to show you like the actual example of how to get those, so you guys can see. But what essentially happens is you click on that, and you keep going, keep spending your energy. Like I said, I'd mention your energy to get those skilled professional artisan workers. Very important, because the higher level workers, the more resources you get and the more money you make, the more dishes you make, etc. Now that have a small background on the workers and stuff like that, once you get a few workers, as much as you can, like I said, I mentioned energy. Energy is very important. How you obtain energy is you go around talking to people with a yellow bar above their heads. Essentially what would happen is, like I said, I'll cut out and snippet this and so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but you will see a character with a yellow box above their head, and when you talk to them you get energy points, and you level up how much you level up your energy, and you get more energy, and the more energy you have, the more actions you can do, the more gathering you can do, the more workers you can contract and or search for to contract, and you can get more workers and just all that stuff. So also, going back to contribution points, since it's very, very important when it comes down to, workers and building up your workforce and being able to get lodging in different of these places, which I will mention later in this video, but getting your contributions up as high as possible is very, very important. Now, there's two ways you can do that. You can either quest, or you can do the fastest way, which I actually mentioned in my cooking video, cooking beer. Now, I'm not going to go over it too much, but essentially you guys can check out that video. Cooking beer allows you to get this hand in that you can hand into Idle, and it gives you a lot of contribution points for it. So when it comes to that, make sure you're either doing one of those two things while you're building your workforce to be able to build a bigger workforce to make more money. That's really essentially it. As with all my videos, I will be making an advanced version of my videos so you guys can get an even more in-depth look or more explained look. I try to briefly go over some of these concepts. I know some of you guys are still not gonna get it, so before I continue, I just want to let you guys know, check out my stream. I stream during the morning time. Check out my stream. I stream in the morning and the nighttime, 2 sessions. Write in the comments below. Make sure you guys ask me questions. I will answer them. I'm very, very quick at answering questions, so just make sure you guys hit me up if you don't understand something. But going on with the video, once you have a few workers, once you have a few places, a few workers, ready to work, make sure you have beer. Beer is what you feed your workers. So, like I said, when you're cooking and you're crafting, make sure, first you might have to buy some beer off the marketplace to get you started. But once you get that, once you have your, cooking going, once you have your other things going, with your workers are giving you supplies to cook, you can make your own beer and save you a lot of money. But essentially what you're going to have to do is buy beer off the market first. Okay, so buy about 500 stacks or a couple hundred beer, and you're going to put in your inventory and save it. Now, coming down to where you can place your workers to start working. Now I'm going to tell you guys specifically what you should start off with. You're going to want to start off in Velia. That's the best place to start off for the workforce. Best place on the map to start off for the workforce, in my opinion. A lot of people would agree with me. What you want to do is, if you have about 3 workers, however many workers you have, this is where you're going to place them. First, you want to place your workers in the potatoes. Potatoes, wheat, and corn are the 3 ingredients that you can use to create beer. This stuff I explained in my cooking video, but those are the 3 essential materials you will need throughout this game. Now, throwing a worker here, unlocking the main node, then clicking on this potato farming and unlocking that node allows you to click on it and assign a worker. See, a worker's already assigned. Like I said, make sure you change it to 50,000. There's going to be a change button there. Make sure you change it to 50,000. Again, once you put one guy here at Logia Farm, you're going to go to next to Bartilli Farm. You're going to buy these 2 nodes here, and you're going to place workers here. Make sure they're 50,000. Okay. Once you go to the next farm, you're going to place 2 workers here. Make sure you get those 2 and bang that out. Same thing with over here, Eswa Hill. You can go to the Ash Timber. You can go to the Big Fortune Teller Mushroom. Bang those 2 out. Okay. Then you're going to go down here to this farm over here and get these 2 corn nodes. You're going to pick those up. Okay. Then essentially when you get all the farms all together and you're good to go, what you can start doing is you can start putting your workers down to, you're not going to have enough lodging. Okay, actually, the reason why I only picked those few places is because you're not going to actually have enough lodging. And there's a way to counteract that, but I'm not going to explain that in this video because it just gets more in depth and you guys might get confused. But essentially, once you get your workers in these few areas, okay, you'll be good to go, and you're on your way to get started to making a lot of money. Now, one more thing before I end the video, I'm going to mention here is that lodging and housing and all these different things. I'm going to briefly explain the housing system here. What ends up happening is that there's different houses in the cities. What you do is you click on the houses and it shows you what that house can be used for. And what you want to be doing is buying all the lodging in Velia to hold as many workers as possible. This is going to cost contribution points. And this is why you quest and you farm beer to build up your contribution points. Now, one thing you want to be focused for. Your first thing you want to be focusing on when it comes to housing, specifically in Velia, is your lodging. You don't get that much of it, so making the use of it, making very good use of it is very important. Now, picking up your lodging, then what you want to do is you want to pick up a residence. Residence is where it allows you to actually cook your beer, because you have to buy your utensil. I'll explain in my cooking video once more. You get a utensil, you put it in your own residence, your house, and you essentially cook the beer inside there, and then you come out and then you sell it on the marketplace. So you need one of these. You only get 5 residences throughout the whole game, throughout all the cities. So make sure you choose wisely in where you put one. Other than that, you could spend the rest on storage, which I have done here. And another thing, you guys, is a quick tip, just a small thing I've done, is get a mineral workbench. Essentially, what happens here is it turns your ores into blocks which sell for a lot more than the ore itself, which I'll explain in another video. But picking up a mineral workbench, if you have the extra contribution points over here, is worth it. But otherwise, do not do that. It's not indefinitely needed to get you started. But like I said, focus on getting all your lodging here. If you guys want to look at my map here and just look at the icons and what I have used here, as you can see, the bed here is lodging, the chest here is storage, and this is the residence. If you guys want to just sit here and look at my icons, I'm going to pause the video here and just give you guys some time to copy that down. Other than that, like always, I'm going to post BDO Foundry in the comments or the description below. It's a lot of help. The website helps you a lot, especially when you don't want to always come back and reference this video, because it might be a little mumby jumbly, or you're looking for something specific that I said and you might not find it. The website's really good. I'm not copying their information. I'm interpreting in my own way, but it's a very good reference to go to. So check out that website. But I hope you guys took something away from this video. Seriously, if you have any questions, throw in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.